Hey everybody, it's Professor Malat, and this is the Unit 3 overview. So Unit 3, it's our final unit in this class. So we'll be spending the rest of the weeks from week 8 to week 13 focusing on this unit, which is dealing with discourse community. So finally, we get to this thing that I've been referring to all along, discourse community. There is a wonderful video that is provided by the UC main campus English department and library that I will refer you to in this that gives you a better overview of what we're trying to do in this discourse community project. That will be the final writing project. But I want to walk you through the weekly breakdown and give you a broad overview of what we're working towards over these last weeks of this course. So as I said, it's our final unit, and it's designed to help you define and analyze the characteristics of discourse communities as defined by John Swales. So you were introduced by Professor John Swales during the genre analysis unit, and we're going to dig a lot deeper into Swales' theories. So you're going to be asked to look outward to examine how groups use literacy tools, things like reading, writing, and text documents, to perform activities that enable the work of those groups to get done. So it will culminate this unit in a project that's 8 to 10 pages, ethnographic, and again, don't be freaked out by these terms if you don't know what they mean, or autoethnographic research report on a chosen discourse community. That video that I mentioned earlier talks about ethnographic writing. So it's a completely new and different thing. If you happen to be an anthropology major, you might already be familiar with ethnographic writing, but outside of that, it's kind of an unusual way to look at things. So the weekly breakdowns in week 8, we are going to be introduced to discourse community. What is a discourse community? In week 9, we're going to talk about lexis. That's essentially the lingo, right? That different discourse communities use in order to communicate. Week 10, we will dig into ethnographic research methods. Week 11, we will talk about the research proposal. Week 12 is focusing on drafting your research. And week 13 is presenting your research. Now, don't freak out. You don't have to do a formal presentation. Presenting your research just means getting the written project completed. In this course, in this unit, we have all 5 of the course learning outcomes: analyze how multiple discourse communities make, communicate, and debate meaning, use multiple tools and methods to conduct focused inquiry-based research, produce various genres, select appropriate social and collaborative processes for drafting and revising, and of course, articulate what you know about discourse communities, how they make meaning, how they communicate, how they debate meaning, and how that knowledge can be used in your own lives, whether that's academic, personal, social, or professionally. So we also here at the bottom of this page have a checklist of the various assignments that you will be responsible for. So we're going to have a discussion board that talks about how you understand discourse communities. We'll have a couple of short writes. One is choosing the discourse community. You can be either a member of the community, or it can be a community that you have chosen and want to kind of look at from the outside. Another short write will be an artifact analysis. And of course, all of these have detailed information on what you need to do. Then that will be followed up by a research proposal, which is a different kind of genre. If you haven't written any lengthy research, or you've never had to draft a proposal for a research project, now is the time that you'll be exposed to that. Discussion, a couple of more discussions, unlikely discourse communities, which is just responding to some of the readings. And then we have your discourse community rough draft, your discourse community final revision, and of course, I also end the course with a course reflection. I like to have students take an opportunity to reflect on what they've learned, how they have met the various course learning outcomes, and how all of those things can apply after you leave this course. So yeah, that is Unit 3 in a nutshell. Each of these links will take you to the weekly overview pages, and of course, we have the checklist of the assignments. Things will become clearer as you go through the weekly modules and you explore the resources that I have available for you. Again, I encourage you to definitely watch that video presented by UC English Department and UC Library that explains a lot in a lot greater depth what this whole Discourse Community project is all about. Okay, take care, everybody. And I'm excited for these last weeks. This is my favorite part of this English 29 course. I love talking about discourse communities, and I love what students are able to learn and apply from their own lives in this project. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.